our team. It's going to be, Toronto Tempo. So what are your thoughts about that name?
My thoughts are I need to find these jobs, bro, because these people be getting these type of jobs and making money and come up with mediocre. I'm not even a creative guy, and I feel like I could have done a better thing. Like, come on, man. Like the Toronto Raptors are the one team in the NBA. They should have the playoff of like a dinosaur or something. Like I don't
Yeah,
even know what type of dinosaur, dog. But make up a like just it'd be easier to market the team. Again, it's the Lakers. They have something close, I think, right? I'm
it's
not mis-
Sparks.
Sparks, but it's like their color schemes is very similar. I guess
Yeah,
most things,
yeah,
but again, I don't know the color scheme but based on what I've seen, I've only seen gray. So I don't hope that's not the color scheme for this team.
yeah. Hmm.
Tempo sounds horrible.
Hmm.
Like I said, it sounds like somebody just mailed that in from their bed. Like they work from home and they were just like, let's call them
Yeah,
Toronto Tempo. The
it was
logo's
definitely a
horrible.
more it was definitely a Microsoft team meeting where they when they made up that name.
Yeah, it was not in person. That was definitely not in person, bro. Um, so like they dropped the ball on that one.
Mm,
I think a WNBA team in Toronto will do very well just because of how diverse the city is when it comes to like just appreciating like like diversity and stuff like that.
hmm.
But they dropped the ball on the marketing for this one, man. I don't know. Maybe the color schemes will change when it's time to drop jerseys and stuff like that. But as of today, if I'm on the outside looking in, like on the fence, if I should watch the WNBA or not, I am not watching it based on that logo and that color scheme, bro, and the name in itself.
Yeah,
The
it's
tempo.
not even a thing. Like what tempo is not even like a physical thing. Like if a raptor is a dinosaur, at least it's a real thing. Tempo is just like it's an adjective. Like it's just it's not even a thing. Like you know what
That's
I
an
mean? Like,
adjective. Don't kill me.
but yeah, I mean, like it's gonna definitely be great for the city. Definitely
For
gonna be
sure.
great for Toronto, women's basketball here up here. I have a friend that I'm sure you heard of Hoop Queens before. So she runs a summer basketball league for females, and
Nice.
the you know the attention around it is so big. So it's definitely gonna be great just to have an NBA a WNBA team here as well, just to help spread the love for women's basketball. It's definitely on the grow on the come up here. It's on the come up globally. That's why they're expanding teams. Like they had Las Vegas get a team a few years ago, right? So it's definitely going to be great for basketball, the city, and just the WNBA on a whole. First
Facts.
team outside of the U.S. So they're going places. They're going places for sure. I think they should kind of keep it along the lines of the Toronto Raptors. As you said, there's similarities between the LA teams and the Golden State. Well, no, Golden State has a G League team, sorry. But any other, New York Liberty, like you know what I mean? Like that's those teams are kind of aligned with the other
The
NBA
city.
team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so as long as it's surrounded around, has some type of influence of Toronto in there or Raptor influence as well, I'll be happy with it. Um I'm curious to know how they make the expansions team. I was just talking about it with a buddy of mine the other day because they essentially get to take players from other teams, right?
Yeah.
And I think apparently like you have to, have an exempt list
Yeah.
for
Protects.
like
Yes. Yeah. Protected players. Yeah.
right? I'm curious to know how many you're able to protect because that really does help a lot of teams. Like it's very unfair to be honest, because depending on how many is on the exempt list, like if you have like five, six, I don't know how deep the exempt list is gonna be, but even if it's like seven players deep, if you can get to access to every team's eighth best player, you're gonna be a damn good team off the bat.
Mm,
To be honest, you have a lot of mid players. That's a well-rounded team at least to begin with, right? A lot of players don't even see a lot of playing time. Like I'm curious to know how deep the exempt list is because obviously if it's maybe seven or eight, maybe you're getting a lot of lower tier players. But if it's like four deep, you could really get a lot of good players from other teams. You know what I mean? And make a great team. But
yeah. It might be have to be four deep because just the amount of the WNBA is not that big right now. So might be
yeah,
a short list
yeah,
of players available. But yo, this is a great time for women's basketball because yo, the NBA man is just not it right now. The NBA is just
yeah,
like yeah, the players man, they've lost all that sorry, the NBA players, they lost that drive, man. It's gone, bro.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yo, the WNBA, it's such a perfect time for them to jump in because yo,
Hmm.
they're gonna play fundamental basketball. Like they're not gonna they're
Yeah, yeah.
like they're not using athleticism and overpowering
Hmm.
people to get to the bucket like LeBron James and stuff like that. So
Yep.
they have a great opportunity now to expand the game globally from the female perspective, and maybe people who actually like basketball can appreciate because I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on in the NBA, bro.
Yeah.
Too much spoiled babies.
Honestly, man, I could recall like this is, probably like, high school, college days. Back when the WNBA league summer, it was like a summer league. It was like 6 weeks long. Like it was such a short season. I think they played like 20 games or something. Now it's about 30. More teams, obviously. But I used to sit there and watch them play ball because it was just basketball. It was
That's all it
literally
is.
just like X and O. Like it reminded me of just like, how they used to play ball in the 90s, like in the NBA, which is, and I don't mean to, make that come off any certain way, but it's just like it was really just about passing to the right place, pick, come up. Like it was really a lot of X and O basketball without okay, as you just said, LeBron just bullying himself Giannis 3 steps from from past the half court. The man takes 3 steps in one dribble and the man's dunking the ball.
It
I mean,
makes no.
great to see, but
It's crazy to see, bro. It's crazy. Yo,
yeah,
but let me ask you a question though. It's like, but like, why do you think there's this? For me, I think it's just a bunch of virgins. But like, why do you think people like hate women's basketball so much, right? Because people will say, it's not the NBA, it's not it's not the highest competition, right? But
yeah.
is the NCAA not one of the biggest leagues in the Americas? They're not the best players and the best football players, basketball players,
Hmm.
whatever other sport there is. Do people not go and watch high school championship games and stuff like that?
Hmm.
Like, why do you think people, they don't appreciate, like, sure, they're not the NBA in terms of talent, but they're still the best place to see the best women play basketball. Like what's the problem there? I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Honestly, I really think it's just with what's going on in the world right now. There's so much, division between genders that it just gives people more reason to hate the opposite sex for no reason. I honestly think that's what it is because, like I said, I was chilling with it before. I loved it. Like, you know what I mean? I loved it. I would sit there and watch it. I appreciated it. I just think that there's a lot of drama around it now, and it's a lot about okay, like they complain about pay and this and that. Like, obviously, it's not just them that's talking about it, but it gets spread out and it becomes conversation. And then that's when you get a retaliation or a response. We're like, oh, well, you only bring in this much money, and then this and that and that. And then it becomes about that, no longer about the game. You know
Game,
what I mean?
right?
And it's like, I forgot the point that I was just about to make, but like, and then they'll take excerpts of like certain clips or videos of you know just bad plays of females doing something that just looks a little silly on the court, and then they'll be
Right.
like, "This is what you want to invest in. This is what you want to watch," kind of thing. So it's really just a lot of like it's a small group, but it's spread out so
But
much,
they're
and it's just
loud.
become
But they're
media now.
loud,
It's,
bro.
it's they're loud.
They're loud,
It's a
bro.
small group and they're loud. That's exactly what it is. And yeah, it's just where we are in the time in the world right now, and plus media. Like if you could say something and it could be shown a million times, and you could watch it. Like I've watched Angela Reese's play like a billion times over the past like 4 months, where she double dribbled it like twice as she was on a fast break, or like when she breaks all her layups and stuff and gets like 14 rebounds. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing that I've seen for the past 5 months, and it becomes people's way of thinking. People don't know how to think on their own anymore,
Fact.
right?
Group
People don't know
think.
how to think on their own, so it's a group thing, and then it's like you have to like they almost make you agree with it. You can't have your own. People aren't wise enough to have their own perception of things because they just don't sit down and watch the game. A lot of people don't sit down and watch the game, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
Right,
That's fair.
and
Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
both boys and girls, because girls will fend for WNBA and they won't watch it, and then that's what a guy will say. You know what I mean? That they'll be like, "Well,
Right.
you don't even watch it yourself."
But don't even watch it.
But it's really because when a female's talking about it, they're just looking out for females in general,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah, and Prince. Yeah. Like they're just like they don't care what it is. They're just defending.
Yeah,
They're just defending
yeah, they're
women.
just
Right.
defending
But
them, and then
but they
that's when they
won't
get
watch.
included. Exactly, right?
They won't watch.
But they still won't watch, right? So it's
Because the female basketball fans I know, I ask them all the time. I'm like, why don't you watch the WNBA?
yeah.
And they tell me because the NBA is better. That's what they tell me.
There you
I'm
go.
like, I'm like, I don't know what to say about that. But it's like, okay, the NBA is better, but like I said, it's still the highest level of basketball for women. So why
Yeah,
not?
yeah,
Why not? Like that? You know what I'm trying to say? So, but I don't know. Whatever.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm excited because I've seen a lot of talent in high school, not even college. I'm talking like high school right now, where there's a lot of good young ladies on the come up in the next 3 4 years. It's crazy because like Caitlin Clark just got here, and there's like a whole wave of them coming right after her.
yep.
There's a lot. There's a lot of young ballers. I'm seeing a lot of young girls, doing some crazy moves, spinning in the paint, dunking one hand. I'm like, what? This girl's 16. Okay, watch. 3 years from now, the game is going to change very rapidly because they are getting better. Um, it's just I would change some things about the game itself. Like I mean, like if you're gonna have the ball smaller, then there's really no harm in lowering the rim
The rim.
half a foot. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Don't like I haven't spoken to anyone about this, but in just terms of like if if you're okay with having a smaller ball than men, you should be okay with having a shorter rim than men as well, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
So I think if they do that, I think the game will get a little bit more electrifying. Because like that 6 inches can make a huge difference. Like you'll see dunks every game at that point, right?
Yeah.
Not like 2 3 times a year. So if that's what I don't know if that's what they're going for. You know what I mean? If that's what you're going for, you could achieve that by lowering the rim by making a 9.5 foot rim for sure.
Right.
For
Yeah.
sure, that would
Make
change the game
it
completely.
right because I think we're in the highlight era in the sense that
Yeah.
a lot of like you suggested, a lot of people don't watch the games as much, so they watch
Hmm.
highlights, right?
Yeah.
So if the 1-2 WNBA highlight I'm seeing is Angel Reese double dribbling or missing easy layups, then I'm gonna be like, why am I gonna watch this? Versus
Yeah.
if I see like a dunk or something flashy, I might go, oh, that's what's going on in WNBA. Let me go check
Hmm.
that out real quick. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So they definitely need to market it because they did in the NBA. They allowed more freedom of movement with calling fouls more frequently, so they
Yeah.
can change the game a bit. That's more. That's not that's intangible. That's not something you can touch. But still, they did. They changed it so that it's more easier on the eye, so more people, more casuals can sit down and watch it. But yeah,
Exactly.
the Caitlin Clark and the WNBA, they should be in good hands for the next couple of years for sure. Few years, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's pivot